everybody, and welcome back to Welcome Grove Homestead. Today I am working on a project for our buck goats. Breeding season is right around the corner, and I'm really wanting to get these guys on a mineral buffet to try and get them as minerally balanced as possible before breeding so that we can hopefully get a higher ratio of doelings. This is just a running theory, of course. There is no guarantee that installing a mineral buffet is going to give you doelings, but there are different theories out there that bucks that are deficient in zinc end up throwing more bucks. So if we can do anything that might give us a higher percentage of does, I'm willing to try it, because we only got 2 doelings this year during kidding season, and we had 14 babies and only 2 of them were girls. So the more girls we can have, the better. It gives us options for our herd. It gives us options for selling animals, because honestly, does are where it's at. They have much more value. They are more sought out. So the more does we can have, the better. So our bucks are in a mobile setup right now. So I need their mineral buffet to be mobile as well. So that makes it a little bit more challenging in that it's got to be weatherproof, it's got to be tip proof. I have varying sizes of goats, so it makes it even more challenging, because something that works for Nigerians explicitly maybe won't work for Nubians, and vice versa. So I'm trying to find the best option that will suit both sizes of goats, and I think I've come across the best idea, and it's somewhat original and somewhat inspired. But I saw a design for a mineral buffet that someone put on just like a gorilla cart, just took the sides off, built it on the base. And the one that they had built was way too tall. That's going to make it way too top heavy. So as soon as any of these goats like stand up on the side of it, they're going to jump up in it and they're going to knock it over. So I created this design that I think should be plenty bottom heavy without being too top heavy. And we're also not going to have issues with the goats jumping up into it, because once a goat jumps into something, what are they going to do? They're going to poop in it. So creating this this mineral buffet has been something that I've been really thinking about a lot for the past couple of months. So now we're finally getting it built. We've got our minerals that were shipped here, so it's ready to go. So we need to build it. So here's an explanation of my basic concept. Obviously this is upside down right now, but this is going to give you the best visual. We've got our piece of wood here that's going to be the platform that houses all the feeding containers. To anchor this onto the bottom of the cart that I have here, we're going to have pieces of just scrap wood at different locations here moving down the cart to anchor it down. Now my goal here is to have very little cost. So far I've only had to buy the feeder containers that are going on this. Everything else has been things that we either already own or things that I picked up for free. This plywood actually was part of a really poorly put together pallet that was free in the Rural King parking lot, and I picked it up. Didn't really have a plan for it, but plywood is so expensive, it just made sense to grab it when I was grabbing a few other pallets that they had in their free wood section. So I found a use for it. I tore the pallet apart, took out the nails, and cut it to size, and it's perfect for what I want to do with it. Alright, so I have been working on this project today, and I hit kind of a speed bump where I needed to make a decision on something, and then David said, well, why don't you use a cattle panel? I'm like, because cattle panel is hard to work with, and
it's expensive.
And it's expensive. But we happen to have this piece that came with the property, so it's kind of old and raggedy. It got run over by a tractor, so
That's right.
it's not straight.
Like a boss, ran right over that thing.
So it was like, well, heck, this will work. So David has now been bending it because he's got bigger muscles than I do.
Also like a boss.
And now he's also trimming it because he still has larger muscles than I do.
She's getting close. All her milking.
And our bolt cutters are like funky. They were brand new. I bought them and they are funky and we're outside the return date, so he knows the trick to fiddle with them.
You just gotta like will it into existence. Now to open it up, you just gotta squeeze it or hit it on something. But once again, another big one. I almost killed Amanda on
Ow.
video.
I did not have video.
Right. It only counts if you die on video. Little YouTube pro
I'm on
trick
video.
there. Anyway, I'm cutting this into 4 squares by 4 squares, then we'll cut that one. And we're gonna put some sidewalls on this. It's looking like it's taking shape. Pretty happy about that.
Yes, I'm excited. It's gonna be great. Now the biggest question is gonna be if the Nubians can get their heads in there to get the angle and all that stuff. But
Not even a question.
I think they're gonna be able to manage it.
Yeah.
Look at you go. And while he does that, I'm gonna go milk the cow.
Bye. As you can see, we've now affixed wood, kind of like fascia on the front of this. And I'm gonna now put our little covered wagon over the top, and we're gonna use some screws and a piece of wood to hold this onto this piece of fascia board. It'll make more sense when you see it.
Alright, so now we're on day 2 of our little mineral cart here. David helped me because he's manly and muscly, and he bent this cattle panel for me. He got it secured onto the cart for me. The only thing that we really have to do to make it functional now is to go ahead and secure our feeder bowls. Beyond that, there are some other tweaks that we're going to do, like trimming these corners here and being able to put like a tarp over the top of it. But we don't need a tarp right at this moment, so I just want to get this thing finished, get it in there, and whenever David has time, I can have him make those minor adjustments to get this weatherproof. Alright, we finished it. Now it still needs a cover, like a tarp or something, but it is currently in its current state usable. So I think I want to take it over to the buck pen and see what they think. I'm so excited. I've been wanting to do this for a while now. So finally got it done, and now we get to do the taste test. Say they like it. It seems like we've got a little bit of troubleshooting to do here with the big guys. Oh, John, that's not going to work, buddy. They are definitely loving the new buffet. Caleb here has the biggest head, so he has the biggest challenge. So hoping that he'll figure it out. See, John isn't really figuring it out. It's gonna take some time. That's a different technique, for sure. He's grabbing a mouthful and then realizing that his mouth has got too much powder in it. You're supposed to lick it, buddy. Small amounts. So making a little bit of a mess. We may have to change our containers ultimately. Something a little larger, but so we definitely have a little bit of troubleshooting to figure out because Mr. Caleb here has such a big head, he gets stuck in cattle panel. So, Big John, no problem because he doesn't have that big bulky buck head. But that guy, he does. He got his head in there. He rocks the whole thing to move it, to get it in. But he definitely gets a little wedged. So, for now it's great because I'm here, I'm supervising and I can help him if he gets stuck. But that's not exactly conducive to what I'm hoping to do here with this. Is I would like for him to be able to eat at free choice, not only when I'm here to babysit him. So, got some troubleshooting and some design flaws here. We'll figure it out. Okay, so we're giving this a whirl. I moved it to a slightly more level space, and he got his head in and out on his own with it there. So, I'm watching to see if he is able to get in and out on his own as long as it is on a more level space. Where it was before, basically when he was putting his head in, he was on an uphill side. So when he picked his head up to take it out, it was lifting the whole cart on that side. So hopefully this is it and that fixes it, at least for now. I think that I would still like to take a look at the design to make it better. But as long as he can have access to the minerals in the meantime, that's what I'm looking for. Out. So the mobile mineral buffet is a success. Could it use a few little tweaks to make it better? Yes, but it is functional right now and we really need the boys to be having access to all these minerals as we're gearing up for breeding season, which while it's still a couple of months away, it's coming up really fast. And when you want goats to be minerally balanced, you actually need a long period of time for those minerals to really have an effect on their body. So things like when a goat is copper deficient and you give them a copper bolus, you're not going to see results right away. That's the same case with this mineral buffet. We're hoping to increase our doeling count when we have our breeding season, when we have our kidding season, and this is my big theory. So hopefully it works out, but these guys are absolutely loving having this buffet right now. Rocket's happening. Thank you so much for joining me here on this interesting little build video. As always, this is your country nerd with a goat herd saying that you can grow where you're planted.